And we are still learning more about the Bahamas plane crash that killed celebrated pastor Myles Munroe on Sunday. The tragic loss has stunned Christians around the world. Ephraim Graham has been following the story, and he joins us now with more. Ephraim, what do we know about the identities of those who were involved in the crash?
Well, of course, we know Pastor Myles Munroe, his wife and co-pastor Ruth Munroe, and 3 other ministry leaders were also killed in the crash. The ministry's website indicates Senior Vice President Dr. Richard Pender, youth pastors Lavad and Riddell Parks, and their son Johannan were all among the 9 people on board the small private plane that crashed Sunday night in the Bahamas.
Cultivate means to bring out the best in everything around you.
Dr. Myles Munroe was founder and president of Bahamas Faith Ministries International. The Bahamas native founded the ministry in the early 1980s after studying at Oral Roberts University in Tulsa, Oklahoma. But with his wife by his side, he quickly became an influential international religious leader, writing dozens of books and delivering sermons around the world, often appearing on popular Christian programs like CBN's 700 Club.
People are becoming aware that life cannot go on as usual anymore, that their experience with God has to be something that is relevant. It has to be consistent with their present day needs, and that they also need to have a sense of impacting their community, their environment.
Munroe's impact on his environment and community was clear when church leaders broke the news of his death to members of the church. Those are the painful sobs shed upon hearing Dr. Munroe, his wife, and 7 others were killed when their private jet crashed.
Words cannot express what we feel tonight.
Aviation experts say their private plane had departed from the capital of Nassau and crashed into a shipping container crane about 5 p.m. Sunday evening while attempting to land at Grand Bahama International Airport in Freeport. Severe weather was likely a factor in the small plane crash. A commercial flight making the same route had turned back because it was unable to land around the same time as Munroe's flight. Dr. Munroe and his wife Ruth had 2 children. And once again, an update on the victims of the crash from Dr. Munroe's ministry's website. They are Dr. Munroe, his wife Ruth, Senior Vice President Dr. Richard Pender, youth pastors Lavad and Riddell Parks, and their son Johannan, pilots Stanley Thurston and Farkan Cooper. And there is still 1 additional passenger aboard that plane whose identity has not been released.
And Ephraim, you mentioned severe weather contributing to this. What do we know about the cause of the crash at this point in time?
Indeed, that is the only thing we know in terms of the cause. The investigation just beginning yesterday with daylight, but weather was indeed a factor. There was a commercial plane along the same route that actually turned around about the same time and went back and was not able to land. So weather is certainly a big factor. It was raining pretty heavily at that time.
All right. Now, he was headed to a major leadership conference that was to go on this week. Is that still happening?
Actually, you're right there. That was his Global Leadership Summit that happens every year. It is still happening. Among the people who were supposed to be there, the mayor, former mayor of Atlanta and former UN ambassador, he, of course, saddened by this, but they all say that Dr. Munroe would have wanted the conference to continue, and it goes on.